everyone!
Hello!
It is us! We're cemetery seeking! It's been a long time! I can't say how many months. Probably, what would you suggest? 5, 6 months?
That's a lot, I know exactly.
Probably 5 months, but obviously you're aware there's a pandemic going on and there's no way that I'm going to stop catching any public transport to go to the middle of nowhere. Yes, that will be deserted, but public transport is filled with germs, so we're not going to do it. So anyway, in the hometown of Nottingham, I actually found this with Manny by accident. We were just walking through the centre of town, near to the ice stadium, coming down Barker's Gate. We just kind of looked down one side and we were like, oh, I think there's something in there. And it said it was a rest garden, but then upon closer inspection it had gravestones. So led to research and find out what it's all about. So I'll just do a little intro on this side, outside these epic gates, which are part of the story, so I thought I'd begin here. We will be researching today Barker's Gate burial ground. Upon researching on Google Maps, it does actually come up as St Mary's Rest Garden, which is up near the train station. It's nothing to do with this one. I've got no idea why Google Maps names it wrong, but upon a lot of deep digging and asking a lot of historians, different info, it's on Barker's Gate, and it was actually consecrated in 1742. There were 3 burial grounds back then, and this was burial ground 1. The reason for them being started was because of the cholera epidemic at the time. So it seemed very relevant when we are in an epidemic now that is going on, a pandemic, sorry, that people are dying left, right and centre. So let's go look at one that obviously was a lot more, I guess people weren't able to have access to medical things and ways to stop it back then. So it would go through the waters and infect everybody. Back in the day, this is one of the poorest areas of Europe. So we're going to go over to the rest gardens now and venture through, and I'll tell you some info. So here over the road is St Mary's School, which they actually knocked down 2 of the walls of the cemetery to build the school. So under our feet is most likely bodies. But I thought I'd show you through the railings that there is actually a lot of the gravestones are still just propped up against the wall, and Matt actually just pointed out that over here, just zoom in, there is still the sign that says Barker Gate Rest Gardens. I don't know why it's just propped up against the side, nor do I even know what this building is even used for. There's just papers up against windows and boxes, but if I just move over here, in the doorway, zoom in, there are gravestones, and right in that corner over there, there's some gravestones propped up. So clearly this was a gravesite also, but it looks very much in disrepair now, so I guess that's respectful that they just left the gravestones there. What do you think, everyone? Maddie was able to pick it up. He's advertising it right now. So the rest garden is on the site of an ancient burial ground associated with St Mary's Church and was granted the parish of the sum of 10 shillings back in the day. So it says please respect the park, but they've just dumped it aside.
And respectfully, I'm putting this back afterwards.
Exactly.
Where I found it.
Yes. We come round the corner and there's actually a couple of gravestones that are just scattered. They are left there though, at least. So we have this one here that doesn't have a name anymore. This one, I believe, it looks like and could be a coffin resting stone, because of the fact that it's not a tomb. It's very worn away on the edges, but I'll leave that out to the jury on that one. So that also looks like a gravestone in the ground. And there's an old doorway here that was bricked up. So all along here is very run down. I'll just show you this doorway that's up here, because I don't think there's anything inside of here either. I couldn't see anything the other day when I was scoping it. But here's a lovely old doorway that they've boarded up, I think. Let's go scrape our boots. Old boot scraper. But I guess it's still there. You can see the old paint, the colour that it used to be. But it is not a door you can get through anymore. So, across the road, you can see behind us, the school is there. So you literally just cross the road here. And here we have the gates, which we accidentally walked by. And there's only a little sign down here saying it's a green flag award from 2018. You wouldn't even know this was here unless you were looking for it. And as you come in, you can see one of the gravestones here. But otherwise, it's a fairly unassuming patch of green land that is surrounded by offices, whether or not the offices are in use, and apartments. But so, as I said, this graveyard was specifically a burial ground, one of 3, for the cholera epidemic, as this was one of the poorest areas in Europe. It fell into disrepair since the 1920s. It was just left as, I guess, a bare patch of green land, but it has been tidied up since, and now I don't know if anybody comes in here ever, but that makes it even nicer, I think, because behind me you can see all stones lining the wall. Very peaceful through here. So a little bit of history, that during these times, as I said, 1742, when this was actually consecrated, so 1700s, the resurrectionists were quite a big thing. So if you're not familiar with resurrectionists, they basically are grave robbers. So they, during that time, were either people wanting to make money, they didn't have a lot of money, so surgeons that would be in the London colleges would want to make money off basically getting bodies out of the ground and sending them to these colleges. So it doesn't matter if you actually lived in that area of London, people were sending them all over the place. So Nottingham being one of them. And there was a man named Old Friday, how spooky is that, that he had stolen 2 bodies from here and he wanted to transport them to London. He decided to put them into a suitcase. He just crammed them in there and just said, "Can you just send me this, please?" Saying nothing of what they were. Obviously the transported people were like, "It's a bit heavy, what's going on here?" And they opened it up and found that it was 2 bodies. It was a woman and her son. And he was like, "It wasn't me," and just split. And they took chase and never caught him. But that's a little slice of what was happening in this area at the time. A lot of people did this. It's known that at least 30 bodies were taken from this specific spot alone. So it was robbed a lot. So who even knows that some of these gravestones even have the bodies still here? They could just be gravestones of unknown people that no longer are here, and they've had their bodies shipped off somewhere to be operated on in the name of science. I mean, obviously that did help science progress. People weren't just donating their bodies back then. They had to find other means. But I wonder where we'd be without that, so you have to kind of weigh up that, really. But let's have a look at the gravestones themselves, and it's just very peaceful here. Right, so along this wall we have a lot of graves from 1700s. This was actually 2 children that were 3 months old and 13 years old, but they do have wonderful slate work around the edge of that one. It's really nice. But again, it's sandwiched in with ones where you really can't tell who they are. This one's pretty impressive that it still managed to stay up. Reading it, I can see someone was 15 that had died here, but besides that, 15 and 12, got right at the bottom there, aged 12. That one's got some lovely colouring. Hey, they're not gravestones, they're just cement slabs. Don't know why they're there. This one's great. thou too must join the dead. That is so Victorian. Very mossy path up here, round the back. Colourful patch of green, right up to this corner. Not very well kept around the back here. A few bits falling off. So they're all still 1700s. Coming right up to this one, which who knows who this is. Don't even know if that's the front. That could be actually the lid of a tomb, because it looks like it has concrete on to hold it down. I think we'll end on this one. This poor little slice that's still standing. So that is the Barker's Gate rest garden / burial ground / was cemetery back in the day. It was part of 3, so you definitely won't see those anymore. If you go up by Hockley, the big car park that's on the corner of Lace Market, under there was bodies once upon a time. So I guess just wonder sometimes, what's beneath your feet? Are there dead bodies beneath your feet as you're walking around? We'll never know, because I guess they're not going to dig them all up, are they, and
I'll leave signs up.
politely move them. But from us, it is a toodle pip till next time. Bye for now, Tampa Bye!